guys, so I'm here to do a book haul. I know in my first video I told you guys that I was gonna have 12 books from Books A Million, but I didn't put it in there just because it was getting a little long. So I thought I would do a whole nother haul of all of the books that I got from Books A Million. We'll start off with the two from Goodwill. The two from Goodwill, most of these books, I will start to say this, most of these books, all of you have probably read. This year of reading is going to be a lot of older books. Oh, the two that I got from Goodwill, this one I have never heard of, but it looks really cute, and it's called Floors by Patrick Carman. This looks really, so this is a series. It says book 1 on the side. Like I said, I've never seen this before, but it is from Scholastic. It's one of those like flimsy books, which I really like. And I just like the very first sentence. There's a mystery and adventure on every floor. So that sounds really neat. And I'm excited. The second book I got from Goodwill, I'm sure you all have read. And the second one is actually coming out, I believe, this year. And it's Dumplin' by Julie Murray. I'm really excited for this. I've wanted to read this ever since I heard about it, especially since it deals with a overweight person, because clearly I have lived that life. So I'm really excited to read this, especially since, like I said, the second one is coming out this year. Oh, and I will say I'm not going to give many synopsises for these books because I'm 100% certain you have all seen these books. So if you have not clicked off already, thank you, by the way. I'm not going to give synopsises because I'm sure you've seen them. If not, you are welcome to go over to Goodreads and find the synopsises for yourselves. So the next book I got is yet again another book that I know I wasn't on the train for, but I've heard fabulous things about, and I cannot wait to read it because yet again, the second one is coming out this year. And I'm going to say it wrong, but Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I think I said that right. I don't know. But I got this. It was a bargain price for only $5.97 at Books A Million. And it's one of those buttery covers, and it's a hardcover, and it's just beautiful. And I'm so happy that I found this because, like I said, I've wanted to read this for a while. And I just love the details that they have within this book. And I'm really excited to read this so I can read the next one coming up this year. The next one I got, this one actually, the person that I was checking out with at Books A Million was horrid, but she did notify me that apparently the bargains price were buy two get one free, and I had enough to go get 2 more books, which would have been free. So I went back to go look at some, and I totally forgot that there's a whole adult section. So I went to go look at the adult section, and I found this, which makes me so freaking happy, and it's Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I've been wanting to read particularly this book and a lot of Karen Slaughter books because I've been reading a lot of kids books and YA books. I miss my adult books. I've always really wanted to read this book, so I had to grab this. This was $6.97 on bargain. So the next one is Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Wengarden. I've been wanting to read this since I heard about it so long ago. This has been out for quite a while. Let me see. Copyright 2015. So actually not that long, only 2 years. I know I've been wanting to read it for the past 2 years. So I'm very excited to finally have my hands on this and to read it. I'm so excited. I've heard really good things about this book. So I'm excited to get to this. This one was on bargain price for $3.97. The next one, I am beyond excited to own this book now. She's actually a fellow booktuber, and I used to watch her videos. I used to love her channel, and I am so ecstatic to start reading her books. I knew she started writing books a while back, and I wanted to read it, and I finally have my hands on it. I think I got both of her books. I think she only has the 2. Both of her books from the library many times, and they just had to go back, and now I own it. And it is The Dead House by Dawn. I'm not going to pronounce her name because I don't know how to say her last name. But I am so ecstatic to own this book so I can finally read it. And it is in a paperback version, which I am in love with. I have wanted to read this forever because it has so many like interesting things in here that I love. And the cover is beautiful, and I have heard nothing but great things about this book. So like I said, I cannot wait to read this. This was not on bargain price. I just bought this one. It was $10.99. The next one I bought was also on bargain price, and this is a first in a series. This is Diary of a Haunting by M. Verano. I've, yet again, have gotten this from the library so many times I can't count, and I've had to bring it back, so I'm excited to finally own it. The second one is called Possession, and I've been wanting to read this forever because it's, yet again, has really cool things in here. It's kind of like a diary, sort of, because like it's not chapters. It's like Wednesday, March 18th at 2:56 p.m. So I'm really excited to do this because it's a haunting, and I love haunting, so yes. Okay, so this next book is kind of on a whim, I guess you could say. I read Delirium by Lauren Oliver a long time ago. Like, I think I was in high school when I read Delirium, or I was just out of high school. I fell in love with it. I was so excited to get my hands on the next book, and then I found out that the next book didn't come out for a whole nother year, and I was so sad. So waiting that whole year was like hell for me. And then when it came out, I was reading other stuff, and I was doing other stuff with my life, and I just totally didn't even read the next book. So I need to read the rest of the Delirium series, aka I need to read older books. But I found this on clearance, and it is part of that series, and it is the Delirium Stories of Hannah, Annabelle, and Raven by Lauren Oliver. It was only $1.97, so I said, you know what, for $2, might as well buy it so I have it, and then I can just, all I need to buy are the two other in the series, I believe, Pandemonium and Requiem, I think. So then I have all of them in the series. I know it's just a tiny little book and it wasn't very much, but hey, at least now I have another part of the series that I didn't have before. The next book I'm actually really excited about. I fell in love with Pretty Little Liars. I've seen all of it and I absolutely loved it, and I own the books, and it is The Amateurs by Sarah Shepard. A hardcover edition, and it was on clearance for $5.97. So I'm really excited because I've wanted to read this. I've heard that it's really good, and it's one of those buttery covers, which I love again. The next book I got, Sarah actually made fun of me for buying, but I'll just tell you what it is and then tell you the story. So it's Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken. I was so ecstatic when I heard about Passenger by Alexander Bracken. A scavenger hunt through different worlds? What? Like, it blew my mind. I bought it the day it came out. I started reading it and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know if it was my mental state at the time because I was so busy doing everything else at the time, or I was in the middle of another book, so I was enjoying that at the time. I don't know, but I just couldn't get into it. So I put it down and I said, you know what, I'm going to start reading it at another point in time when I get to it, and I never got to it. But I saw this on bargain price for $5.97, and I said, well, I'm really excited to read Passenger, so let me get the second one, Wayfarer. And Sarah goes, but you started Passenger and you didn't like it and you put it down, so why do you want the second one? If only she knew the mind of a reader. I understand that at the moment I was not particularly fond of the book, but I'm sure I'm going to love it. So I needed to get the second one because even if I don't love it, I still want to read the second one so I can get a point on it. Because what if the second one is better than the first one? Okay, so the next book that I have, I know every single booktuber has already read this because when this came out, it was like a huge thing. And it is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This is a paperback version. It was on bargain for $3.97. Yet again, one of the flimsy books that I love. And I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book in particular, and also Morgan Matson as an author. So obviously when I saw this on the bargain shelf, I had to pick it up because, like I said, I've heard amazing things. It is a bit of a chunker. I did not expect this book to be as big as it is, but I am excited to get to it. Contemporary is not one of my favorite types of books just because I like more of a story, more of a plot line, more of a at the edge of your seat type of book. But like I said, I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book. I don't think I've heard anyone say they don't like it. So clearly I need to read it. And it has all of the dogs. Beautiful. I love dogs, clearly, because there's two in my room right now. The next book, I seen this at Barnes & Noble a while back. Here's the poor way to shop at Barnes & Noble. You go in, and I look at almost every single book in the YA section, almost every single book in the cheap section, every single book in the adult. Like, I look at everything. And because I can't buy anything, I take pictures of them, of the ones that I really want to read, and then I go home and I put them on my library list to read from the library, because I can't buy a lot of books. But that's a whole nother discussion video about BookTube for a later video. But I had taken a picture of this book from Barnes & Noble, and I really wanted to read it, and I had been looking and looking and looking and looking for it at the library, and they've never had it. So I just had kept the picture in my phone forever. And so I saw it on clearance at Books A Million, and I just had to buy it because I could never find it anywhere. And it is We Know It Was You by Maggie Thrash. This was on bargain price for $4.97. And I am so excited to finally own it, and I can finally read it. I don't think I have heard anyone talking about this book. Oh, I didn't notice this. Big points to this book. The person that wrote Gossip Girl blurbed this book. Done. I'm going to love the book. So, I'm excited to read this. Like I said, I was really excited when I seen it at Barnes & Noble and then could never find it. So finding it at bargain price at Books A Million, perfect. The next book I got was Belle's Library from Beauty and the Beast. I've already read this one, and I absolutely adore this. I love this. First of all, you know I'm a Disney freak.
Plug. Go check my channel, True Happiness 365.
But you know I'm a huge Disney freak, especially Belle. She is one of my favorites. So when I saw this on clearance, I had, like, there was no second guessing. I believe it was $4.95 or $3.95 or $4.97 or $3.97, one of the two. But as soon as I saw it, I had to pick it up. This is not really a book per se. This is, it says on the front, a collection of literary quotes and inspirational musings. So what it is has a list of Belle's favorite books throughout the entire book. On this side, it has a quote from one of her favorite books. And then on this side is something that Belle herself has written, or in this case, drawn, and kind of a quote or a thought from that quote. So I absolutely love this. Like, love this. And last but definitely not least, I bought this. When I bought most of my books, they were all on clearance, other than two books. The Dead House, which I showed you, and this one. I literally have never heard of this book before. I have never seen this book before. I've never heard of this author. It is from Simon Pulse, which obviously I know. But I've never heard of this book, this author, nothing at all. And as soon as I just saw the side of it, and it drew me in, and I saw the cover, and I didn't even have to read what was on the back, and I wanted it right away. And then I did read what was on the back, and I just, like, I am in love. I cannot wait to read this book. It might be something that I read extremely soon, because I am so enthralled and excited to read this. And it is called The Murmurings by Carly Ann West. Look at that cover. That cover is gorgeous. Like, I love this. And the little quote on the front says, "The voices in her head are not her own." I love this. So it's about, this one I will tell you what it's about, because all those you probably have seen. This one I've not seen. So this one is about a girl named Nell, I believe. No, Sophie. Is a girl named Sophie. Nell is her sister, and her sister committed suicide because of the voices in her head. And she doesn't think that Nell would have done that. So she thinks that something or someone drove her to do that. And then all of a sudden she starts hearing voices in her head, and she just kind of wants to try to piece together what went on between Nell and these voices and why she's hearing them now. So I'm really excited to get to this book. Like, I am so excited. This is a beautiful book. It seems like it's going to be fantastic. I just hope that I'm not getting my hopes up too much. That is everything that I got. If you have any questions or comments or anything, leave them down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you liked what you see and want to see any of these in review form. If you do, just let me know and I'll definitely get to them, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.